I want to ask you something honest before we get started. Have you ever woken up in the morning with that strange feeling, a fatigue that just won't lift even after a full night's sleep? Maybe a nagging discomfort in your stomach that comes and goes without any clear explanation? Or perhaps your last labs came back with elevated triglycerides or blood pressure readings, even though you've been eating well, taking care of yourself, doing everything right? If any of that sounds familiar, I need you to listen very closely to what I'm about to say, because the cause may be hiding in one of the foods you trust the most, a food that every doctor, every nutritionist, and every health program in this country recommends without a second thought. Avocado. That's right, the very same avocado packed with healthy fats, potassium, and vitamins that you've been eating with the complete confidence that you're protecting your heart. Let me tell you about Donald. 71 years old, retired, takes better care of his diet than most people I know. Avocado every single day, on toast, in salads, in his morning smoothie. When he came to see me, his triglycerides were out of range. He was sleeping poorly, and he had a persistent heaviness in his stomach he just couldn't explain. In a single appointment, I identified 4 specific mistakes in the way he was eating avocado. None of them appeared on any health list anyone had ever given him, but each one had a very precise biological mechanism that, after the age of 60, becomes genuinely dangerous. I'm Dr. Joseph Barrett, a physician with over 35 years of experience caring for adults over 60, and today, I'm going to walk you through the 10 most common and most overlooked mistakes that people just like you make with avocado every single day without realizing it. I'll go from mistake number 10 all the way down to mistake number 1, because mistake number 1 is the one that concerns me most as a physician, and it's one you've probably never seen on any health video, blog, or list in your life. Stay with me through the end. What you learn here today has the power to change your health immediately. But before we go any further, let me ask you for something simple, and I think you'll agree it's completely fair. What I'm about to share with you is real, science-backed medical information, drawn from research at institutions like Harvard and Oxford, that many in the food industry would frankly prefer you never hear. I put genuine time, research, and care into every single video I publish here. So if you think that kind of knowledge is worth something, go ahead and hit that like button right now. That's your way of letting me know you want to keep receiving this kind of content. Deal? And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, do that right now and hit the bell so you never miss a new video. Every week I publish practical, honest medical information focused on the health of adults over 60, the kind of information your primary care physician often doesn't have time to cover during a regular appointment. Ready? Then let's get into it. Before we get to the mistakes, let me give you some important context, because understanding this will make everything that follows much clearer. Avocado is a biologically unique food. A single medium-sized avocado contains approximately 22 grams of fat, nearly all of it in the form of oleic acid, a monounsaturated fat. It's the same type of fat found in extra virgin olive oil, and that fat is genuinely protective for the heart, the brain, and joint health. But fat has characteristics that set it apart from every other nutrient. It requires active work from the liver, which must produce bile to emulsify it, and from the pancreas, which secretes enzymes to break it down. After the age of 60, both of these organs operate at reduced efficiency. A 2022 study from Johns Hopkins University confirmed that pancreatic enzyme output declines by an average of 30% between the ages of 60 and 75. That means mistakes that would have passed completely unnoticed at 40 can, after 60, produce real, measurable, and sometimes serious consequences. With that foundation in place, let's go through the 10 mistakes. Mistake number 10. Eating too much avocado. This is the most widespread mistake, and interestingly, it most often happens with people who are genuinely health conscious. The logic seems obvious. If avocado is good for you, more avocado must be even better. That's not how the body works. A medium avocado contains approximately 240 calories and 22 grams of fat. In moderate amounts, half to 1 whole avocado per day, those monounsaturated fats actively protect the heart and help reduce oxidized LDL cholesterol. But when consumption climbs to 2 or 3 avocados a day, the liver begins processing a volume of fat that, in adults over 60, it simply cannot metabolize efficiently. A 2023 study from the American Heart Association followed over 4,000 adults above the age of 55 and found that nearly 27% of those consuming 3 or more avocados per day showed significant triglyceride increases over 6 months, precisely the opposite of what they were hoping for. There's also a second digestive problem worth mentioning: Excess fat slows gastric emptying. The practical result is that uncomfortable sensation of heaviness, bloating, and constipation that many of my patients report and never once connect to their avocado habit. The solution, half to one full avocado per day, is enough. If your diet already includes nuts, seeds, or olive oil, you don't need more than that. Mistake number 9, eating avocado right before bed. This one is extremely common because avocado feels light. A slice of avocado toast in the evening seems harmless, even comforting. The problem is purely biochemical. The dense fats in avocado take between 3 and 5 hours to be fully digested. When you eat avocado within 2 to 3 hours of lying down, you're forcing your digestive system to work at full effort during the exact hours it should be resting and repairing. A 2022 study from the American Sleep Foundation found that adults who consumed high-fat foods within 3 hours of bedtime were 37% more likely to wake up during the night and 42% more likely to experience nighttime acid reflux. But there's a second mechanism that concerns me even more. Research published in 2023 by the National Center for Biotechnology Information showed that fat-heavy evening meals reduce the body's natural melatonin production, the hormone that governs sleep, and raise nighttime cortisol levels. The result is restless, shallow sleep, and a brain fog that drags through the following day with no clear explanation. The solution: enjoy your avocado at breakfast or lunch. If you need something in the evening, reach for plain Greek yogurt, oatmeal, or a calming chamomile tea instead. Mistake number 8, combining avocado with completely fat-free foods. This one surprises nearly every patient I mention it to because it sounds like exactly the right decision. Pairing avocado with non-fat yogurt to keep the meal lighter and more nutritious. The problem is that avocado's most valuable vitamins, A, D, E, and K, are all fat-soluble. That means they can only be absorbed by the intestine in the presence of dietary fat. When avocado is paired with foods that contain zero fat, you eat the avocado, but your body cannot absorb the very nutrients that make it so powerful. A 2023 study from the Harvard School of Public Health followed adults on very low-fat diets for more than 12 months. Nearly 48% developed measurable deficiencies in vitamins A and E, showing up as hair loss, reduced night vision, excessively dry skin, and a weakened immune response. Vitamin K, also abundant in avocado, is essential for proper blood clotting. In older adults already taking blood thinners or daily aspirin, a vitamin K deficiency can meaningfully increase the risk of internal bleeding and vascular fragility. The solution: if you do pair avocado with a lower fat food, add a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil, a small handful of walnuts, or some sunflower seeds. Those small additions of healthy fat unlock complete absorption of all the fat-soluble vitamins. Mistake number 7, eating avocado before it's fully ripe. It's happened to all of us. You slice open an avocado full of anticipation, and it's rock hard, and the temptation is right there. It's still avocado. It can't hurt. It can. Unripe avocados are loaded with tannins, astringent plant compounds that give the flesh that hard, almost bitter quality. In small amounts, tannins aren't dangerous, but eating a completely unripe avocado can trigger abdominal cramps, nausea, bloating, and temporary digestive intolerance, especially on an empty stomach. A 2023 study from the American Gastroenterological Association found that 31% of adults who ingested high levels of tannins reported significant digestive discomfort, and 15% experienced symptoms resembling a mild case of food poisoning. For adults over 60, this risk multiplies. Digestion is slower, pancreatic enzyme function is reduced, and recovery from any irritation to the gastrointestinal tract takes considerably longer. The practical solution: press gently on the skin with your thumb. A ripe avocado will yield slightly without sinking in. If it's firm, place it in a paper bag alongside an apple or a banana. The ethylene gas these fruits naturally release will accelerate ripening within 1 to 2 days. Mistake number 6. Adding too much salt to avocado. For a lot of people, avocado without salt simply isn't avocado. On toast, in guacamole, over a salad, a good pinch of salt feels like the natural finishing touch. But this is where a specific and serious trap hides for adults over 60. Avocado on its own is naturally very low in sodium and exceptionally rich in potassium, a combination that actively helps regulate blood pressure. But the moment you add excess salt, soy sauce, or heavily salted condiments, that protective effect is completely neutralized. Sodium forces the body to retain fluid, raises blood volume, and drives blood pressure upward. In younger people, the body can compensate. After 60, when arterial walls have lost some of their natural elasticity and the kidneys are working at reduced capacity, that sodium burden is far more dangerous and produces consequences much more quickly. A 2023 study from the American Heart Association found that adults consuming more than 3 grams of sodium per day had a 46% higher risk of developing hypertension and a 31% greater likelihood of experiencing an acute cardiovascular event. And when sodium and fat enter the body together, as they do with heavily salted avocado, the strain on the cardiovascular system multiplies synergistically. The solution? Reach for fresh lemon juice, minced garlic, cumin, smoked paprika, a dash of hot sauce, or balsamic vinegar. These add real flavor and complexity without putting pressure on your heart. Avocado is already a natural protector. Don't turn that protector into a liability with salt. Mistake number 5. Leaving cut avocado out at room temperature. You slice open an avocado, eat half, and leave the rest on the counter to finish later. It seems completely harmless. It's one of the most common habits there is. And it's also one of the most risky. The moment avocado is cut, the flesh is immediately exposed to oxygen, ambient heat, and airborne bacteria. Within minutes, oxidation begins. That brown discoloration that appears isn't just cosmetic. It signals active nutrient degradation and real changes to the composition of the flesh. More seriously, at room temperature, cut avocado becomes an ideal breeding ground for pathogenic bacteria. A 2023 study from the University of California found that at just 72 degrees Fahrenheit, bacterial colonies increased by nearly 80% within 2 hours on exposed avocado flesh. Pathogens like Listeria monocytogenes and Salmonella can penetrate the soft pulp and are completely invisible to the naked eye. For adults over 60, with a less reactive immune system, even moderate contamination can cause days of diarrhea, severe dehydration, and in more serious cases, hospitalization. The solution: as soon as you cut the avocado, apply fresh lemon juice or a thin drizzle of olive oil to the exposed flesh to slow oxidation. Wrap it tightly in plastic wrap or seal it in a glass container and refrigerate it immediately. Follow the 2-hour rule. If cut avocado has been sitting out longer than that at room temperature, throw it away without hesitation. We're at the halfway point, and you've already learned 5 mistakes that may be quietly working against your health right now, but the next 5 are more serious. Mistake number 1 in particular. You'll understand in a moment why it concerns me more than any of the others. Before we continue, do me a quick favor. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, do it right now and hit that bell to get notified every time I release a new video. Every week I bring you practical, honest, science-backed medical information that can make a real difference in your health and your quality of life. Thousands of adults over 60 are already part of this community. Now, let's get to mistake number 4. Mistake number 4. Combining avocado with alcohol. Avocado toast with a glass of wine. Guacamole with a cold beer at a backyard barbecue. It seems perfectly normal, even sophisticated. From your liver's perspective, it's a double burden that, over time, can be very damaging. Both alcohol and the fats in avocado are processed by the liver. When they arrive together, the liver is forced to break down the alcohol, which is chemically toxic at any significant amount, while simultaneously managing and metabolizing the dense fats from the avocado. Instead of performing its normal functions of cellular detoxification and repair, the organ becomes overloaded, sluggish, and inflamed. A 2023 study from Harvard Medical School followed over 6,000 adults and found that nearly 40% of those who habitually combined alcohol with high-fat foods developed early signs of hepatic steatosis, commonly known as fatty liver disease, in under 5 years. The pancreas is also at risk in this specific combination. Avocado stimulates the production of bile and pancreatic enzymes to digest its fats. Alcohol at the same time blocks the normal release of those very same enzymes. That enzymatic buildup within the pancreas can raise the risk of pancreatitis, a painful, debilitating, and potentially serious condition. The solution: keep avocado and alcohol in completely separate meals. Enjoy your avocado at breakfast or lunch. If you plan to drink at a social event, choose lighter accompaniments with lower fat content. Mistake number 3. Eating avocado with dark spots or discolored flesh. It's happened to all of us. You cut open an avocado expecting that beautiful green, creamy flesh, and you find dark patches or dark veins running through it. The instinctive reaction is to cut away the bad parts and eat the rest. That instinct can be far more dangerous than it appears, significantly more dangerous. Dark spots in avocado frequently indicate fungal growth. These fungi can produce aflatoxins, chemical compounds that progressively damage the liver and are classified by the World Health Organization as Group 1 carcinogens, meaning there is confirmed evidence that they cause cancer in humans. A 2023 report from the National Institutes of Health noted that up to 29% of hepatocellular carcinoma cases, the most common form of liver cancer, in American adults are linked to prolonged cumulative exposure to aflatoxins from contaminated food. And the most dangerous characteristic of aflatoxins is that they do not respect the visible boundaries your eyes can see. Although the mold may appear limited to one dark spot, its toxins can have penetrated far deeper into the flesh than any knife can reach. Cutting away the dark part does not guarantee the rest is clean. In adults over 60 with naturally reduced liver function or with pre-existing conditions like diabetes or fatty liver disease, this kind of cumulative exposure represents a proportionally much greater risk. The solution is simple and absolute. If you see dark spots, dark veins, or any sign of internal deterioration in your avocado, discard it completely. Do not risk your liver's health to avoid wasting a piece of fruit. Mistake number 2, mixing avocado with sugar. In many American households, avocado finds its way into smoothies and desserts sweetened with honey, maple syrup, or condensed milk. The creamy texture naturally invites that kind of use. But from a metabolic standpoint, this combination is especially problematic for adults over 60, and I want to explain exactly why. The fats in avocado naturally slow digestion and gastric emptying. In normal circumstances, that's actually a good thing. It extends satiety and helps stabilize blood sugar. But when sugar is present in the same meal, that same slowing effect becomes a problem. The sugar stays in contact with the small intestine for longer than usual, prolonging absorption and forcing the pancreas to produce insulin in a sustained, extended release. When that pattern repeats regularly, it contributes directly to insulin resistance, the metabolic step that precedes type 2 diabetes. A 2023 study from the National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases found that 41% of adults who regularly consumed meals combining high sugar with high fat developed hyperinsulinemia, and 19% progressed to prediabetes in under 3 years. The liver is also affected. Sugar that isn't immediately used for energy is converted into hepatic fat, particularly when consumed alongside dietary fats. This directly contributes to the development of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, a condition increasing rapidly among older American adults. The solution: avocado doesn't need sugar to taste wonderful. Ground cinnamon, fresh berries, or at most a few drops of pure raw honey are far safer options. Or simply enjoy avocado in its natural savory combinations, where it truly shines. Before we get to mistake number 1, which is by far the most surprising and the one that concerns me most clinically, I want to take a quick pause. The fact that you've made it this far tells me you genuinely care about your health, and I respect that deeply. So do me one favor, go to the comments right now and type the word vitality. That's it. That's how I know this information has reached you, and that you've watched all the way through. I read every single comment personally, and I do my best to respond to as many as I can. Now, let's get to the mistake that worries me most as a physician. Mistake number 1, eating avocado combined with raw eggs. This is the mistake that concerns me most clinically, and it's one you've almost certainly never seen on any health list, nutrition blog, or wellness video in your life. For years, health and wellness influencers promoted the idea of adding a raw egg yolk, beaten, on top of avocado toast, or blending it into smoothies as the ultimate protein source. The combination looks powerful, natural, and sophisticated. The biological reality is very different. Raw eggs are one of the primary carriers of Salmonella enteritis and Escherichia coli, bacteria that cause serious gastrointestinal illness and can be fatal in immunocompromised adults. A 2023 report from the CDC identified that 23% of all documented salmonellosis outbreaks were directly linked to raw or undercooked egg consumption. Now add avocado to that equation. Its dense fats significantly slow digestion and gastrointestinal transit, something that, under normal circumstances, is beneficial. But in the presence of a contaminated raw egg, that same slowing becomes dangerous. It gives bacteria more time, more warmth, and more nutrients to multiply actively inside the intestine before the immune system can mount an effective response. A 2022 study from the University of Michigan found that 35% of patients who combined raw eggs with high-fat foods developed significantly more serious gastrointestinal complications than those who consumed raw eggs alone. For adults over 60, with a less agile immune system, greater vulnerability to dehydration, reduced kidney function, and lower tolerance for gastrointestinal infections, the consequences can be severe: serious dehydration, bacterial sepsis, or prolonged hospitalization. The cruelest paradox of this mistake is that avocado with egg is genuinely one of the most nutritionally complete combinations that exists. Complete protein, healthy fats, fat-soluble vitamins, essential minerals. It is truly a perfect pairing for the body, but only with fully cooked eggs. Fried, hard-boiled, scrambled, poached, cooking eliminates pathogens completely while preserving the full nutritional value of the egg. The internal temperature needs to reach at least 160 degrees Fahrenheit for complete salmonella elimination. Please don't trade your health for a social media trend that looks healthy but can cause you real and serious harm. Let's recap the 10 mistakes that can silently transform your daily avocado into a serious health problem. Mistake 10. Eating too much overloads the liver and elevates triglycerides. Mistake 9. Eating before bed disrupts sleep, raises nighttime cortisol, and causes acid reflux. Mistake 8. Combining with fat-free foods blocks the absorption of vitamins A, D, E, and K. Mistake 7. Eating unripe avocado. Tannins irritate the digestive system and strain the pancreas. Mistake 6. Too much salt cancels the protective effect of potassium and raises blood pressure. Mistake 5. Leaving cut avocado at room temperature. Dangerous bacteria multiply within hours. Mistake 4. Combining with alcohol. Simultaneous liver overload and risk of pancreatitis. Mistake 3. Eating parts with dark spots, aflatoxins with cumulative liver and carcinogenic risk. Mistake 2. Mixing with sugar contributes to insulin resistance and fatty liver disease. Mistake 1. Consuming with raw eggs, serious salmonella risk amplified by avocado's fats. Now I want you to hold on to something fundamental. Avocado remains one of the most powerful and well-documented foods you can include in your daily diet. Its monounsaturated fats, potassium, vitamin E, and antioxidants carry real, scientifically proven benefits for cardiovascular health, brain function, joint inflammation reduction, and cellular longevity. The problem was never avocado. The problem was the way it was being used. Donald, the patient I mentioned at the beginning, eliminated the 4 mistakes he had been making. 3 months later, his triglycerides had returned to a healthy range, and his abdominal discomfort had disappeared completely. The last thing he said to me was, "Dr. Barrett, I never imagined I could have been eating something I was so sure was good for me, the wrong way." Knowledge changes what happens inside your body, and today you have that knowledge. With all of my respect and commitment as your physician, I'd like to ask 3 simple things of you before you go. First, hit that like button right now if you haven't already. It's your way of helping me continue producing this kind of quality content. Second, subscribe to this channel and turn on the bell. Every week I publish practical, honest, science-backed medical information focused on the health of adults over 60. Information that can make a real difference in your life and in the lives of those you love. Third, share this video with someone over 60 who eats avocado regularly. That family member, that close friend who is completely confident they're protecting their heart just by eating avocado. This information could genuinely protect that person's health. In the comments, tell me, which of these 10 mistakes were you making without realizing it? And which one surprised you the most? I read every comment personally and respond as often as I can. And in the next video, I'll reveal something equally important about another food consumed every single day with complete confidence that it's entirely safe and healthy: olive oil. I'll walk you through the 7 dangerous mistakes that adults over 60 make with olive oil without knowing it. Mistakes that can transform that protective oil into a generator of free radicals and inflammatory compounds. One has to do with cooking temperature, another with the way it's stored, and the third will surprise almost everyone because it involves the type of container. Don't miss it. I'll see you soon. I'm Dr. Joseph Barrett. Take good care of yourself.